scare in the air and on the ground tonight. Atlanta's own Delta Airlines expressing concern for dozens of children and adults after a Delta pilot was forced to dump fuel on them while making an emergency landing in Los Angeles. The jet fuel rained down on people at schools and neighborhoods in the landing path, causing minor injuries.
The sight shocked witnesses. Fuel spewing out of a Delta airliner and onto Los Angeles. Delta Flight 89 had just taken off from the Los Angeles airport. Suddenly, the pilot radioed the tower declaring an emergency, saying he had to shut down an engine. Delta telling us later that as the pilot circled back to LAX, he had to dump his jet fuel in order to land safely. The fuel raining on 4 elementary schools and on residential neighborhoods near the airport. As many as 60 people, mostly children, complained of skin irritation and burning eyes and other minor injuries.
My head started hurting first, but then my eye itched.
FAA regulations are strict about fuel releases, normally allowing them over unpopulated areas only and at high altitudes so the released fuel immediately evaporates. But the FAA does provide for exceptions in emergencies. Delta in Atlanta emailing us. We share concerns regarding reported minor injuries to adults and children at a school in the area.
The news is saying that these contrails are, in fact, chemicals raining down on people's children. We've been saying this for years. Ladies and gentlemen, these aren't contrails. These are chemtrails. Look at them. What's the difference between this and this? What's the difference? Here they're saying that these contrails are chemicals, toxic chemicals being dumped on children. Here they're saying that these contrails don't contain chemicals and they're not being dumped on your children. So, distinguish the difference here, ladies and gentlemen. These are chemicals that are being dumped out of these planes, and these are not chemicals being dumped out of these planes. Can you see the difference? Can you see the difference? See how the contrails come out and you might think it's water vapor, but in fact, no, these are chemicals. And they're raining down on everyone every single day. And this is just part of the eugenics programs. And there's many of them out there. Now, of course, this plane flying into LAX could have circled around the Pacific and dumped, its chemicals out there in case you're a skeptic. But no, it's like, right over 4 elementary schools. It just dumps the boatload. It empties its bowels all over these little children, ladies and gentlemen. And you just can't trust the TV these days. It looks more and more like they live. Your world leaders are possessed. Breaking news. They're working for the dark side and they're out there plotting your demise. There's no doubt about it. We've covered this numerous times. Can you see the devil horns? You'll see them over and over again. The situation is worse than you can imagine. You might ask yourself, why are they trying to poison the children? Why are they spraying the children like bugs? In fact, these are demons that are in control of government, which means that they're in control of our military, they're in control of our corporations, they're in control of the media, they're in control. And people are just waiting to get exterminated by these demons. There's no doubt that this is the beast system, the pages of the Bible playing out before your very eyes. You have to wonder, what is this administration waiting for to save us from this demonic infestation? Have you seen your cities lately? Thanks to the 5G, it's worse than a microwave oven. We recommend that everybody get a meter out there. Check out the EMF 390 on stfnreport.com. You'll be glad you did. You want to know what you're getting dosed with. You need a genuine tri-field meter, something that picks up these death rays from these microwaves, whether it be the oven or these death towers out there. It's just part of the eugenics program. It's just part of the extermination program. And these people on television, they're nothing more than actors, script readers, and perhaps clones. We've got quite a bit of suggestive footage that would say that there is a clone invasion out there, but that's kind of besides the point right now. These are two different people. We could show you the names here, but these are two different people each and every time, and in fact they look like the same gene pool, if you will. And there's no telling what these creatures are exactly, but they look demonic, they look evil, they look like the devil. It looks like the pages of the Bible playing out before your very eyes. And you can see them now manifest their demonic morphology in broad daylight. It's rather scary. And of course, the television will never expose themselves. Don't expect to see this anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. But pay attention to, shows even like InfoWars. They'll plug the blasphemy. They'll plug the terraforming. They'll say, oh yeah, all this poison is just for the trees. It's just for the trees. That's why the concentrations just keep going up. It's more than the trees can handle, ladies and gentlemen. And there's definitely something else going on. You start looking at the world as if it was a demonic invasion, and all of a sudden it makes more sense. Why are they spraying the foods with poisons? Why are they spiking the water with poisons? Why are they forcing these toxic vaccines upon you? Why are they spraying you like bugs? Because these demons are anti-life, they're anti-Christian, they're anti-creation, and it spreads like a virus. It's just blowing in the wind. And, seed or sin, we should say, feeds these demons. And, the television is nothing more than the ministry of doubt. They seed doubt everywhere they can, as well as these learning institutions. Now, we've covered, some of these demon-like faces in the fires from down under, and they take human form. I mean, these faces must belong to someone that used to be human. They got arms. It looks like they're coming through and escaping, through the flames here. Perhaps some kind of quantum entanglement is happening. But these demons will, seek people without spiritual shields, without their armor on. And that's why you want to seek virtue and not sin out there. Learn the difference. And there's no telling, what else is walking amongst with us, ladies and gentlemen. But it's quite obvious that
scare in the air and on the ground tonight. Atlanta's own Delta Airlines expressing concern for dozens of children and adults after a Delta pilot was forced to dump fuel on them while making an emergency.
So breaking news, these contrails are in fact chemicals, toxic chemicals that are raining down on you. And for once, the news is, telling you the truth, because, people were running for their lives. Now, they were asking questions, how come these schools got hit? 4 elementary schools, dozens, probably hundreds of children in California. I mean, this flight path, of the plane brought it out into the Pacific. It could have dumped its fuel there, but it just dumps it, right above people's homes. And you just have to wonder what was going on there. Now, of course, this footage looks remarkably similar to what we see every single day out there. What's the difference between, these contrails and the contrails that they're just talking about? What's really the difference between that, that and this? It's the same thing. It's the same contrail. It's the same chemicals being sprayed, probably worse. And as far as the patents say, it's mixed in with the jet fuel. They call it solar radiation management, and it all just kind of falls out into the ground like Fukushima. You've heard of fallout, ladies and gentlemen. It all comes back. thanks to gravity. I know a lot of people out there don't believe in gravity. They believe in density. How dense are you to think that the people on television are on your side? Do they look like they're on your side? I mean, they brought in everybody from Skull and Bones, and they're rolling out the death towers. They certainly didn't lock anybody up, and they're on your side. They're on your side, ladies and gentlemen, because, you know, the stock market is, you know, going through the roof, like these EMF readings. And that just means the rich are getting richer. You know, you may be getting some of the crumbs in your 401k, but they'll be coming back for it later. Don't worry. That's what these people do. You should see the history of how, you know, this Ponzi scheme operates. I'm sure many people are aware. We're not telling you anything new, except for perhaps, you know, this footage here where you can clearly see the demonic, you know, features of these world leaders. I mean, even this guy, even the Trudeau. Have you seen the Trudeau Foundation papers? Have you not looked into that? You really should. But, you know, what is this administration waiting for? So you might think that, you know, there's no way these people could look like this. You can see it now, ladies and gentlemen. You can see these demons now. And that's probably a very scary kind of prospect, because they weren't so visible just a few years ago. Certainly not in the 90s. And, you know, look at it now. It's rather, you know, disturbing. It's like the Twilight Zone. What are people waiting for? These death towers are everywhere. The clones are everywhere. The demons are everywhere. They're poisoning everything. They're spraying you in broad daylight, just saying, oops, you know, we did it again. And people are like, hey, yeah, no problem, you know. No problem. We'll just go back to watching television. It must just be some kind of, you know, coincidence. It must be our imagination. And see, look, now the news is telling you that, you know, these contrails are toxic. Can you see the devil horns? It's incredible. You can see them on just about everybody on television. And sometimes you need, you know, the right lens flare, the right filters, the right angle to see their features. You know, they try their best to hide, you know, what they are. Every army uses camouflage. Remember that. There's a real important lesson to be learned about the Judas in disguise. And this has become pretty much the standard operating procedure out there these days. You know, these demons are infiltrating everywhere they can, pretending to be, you know, decent, wholesome people, pretending to be on your side, telling you what you want to hear. And it's very convincing, in fact. I mean, you know, most of the time when you meet a con man, I mean, you know, you like them. You know, most people haven't met a con man that they didn't like, for the most part. And that's, you know, that's what makes them successful. And, you know, these people that you see on TV are the best of the con men out there. So, can you see the demons now? I bet if you look more and more on your local television, you'll see them. Now that you know what to look for. And this is just, you know, some of the symptomology out there. People that are demon possessed will often be very sensitive to light. They'll wear shades on a cloudy day, for example. They'll wear their shades at night. And, you know, you'll see them blaspheme all the time using that OMG expression. I bet you do it out there. Third commandment, look it up. And, you know, 50 years ago, they would have washed your mouth out with soap. And now everything is just, you know, so everyone's so desensitized that they just, you know, they don't even know what they're doing anymore. And demons will, you know, relentlessly use the number 6 disproportionately to all other numbers. And we've discovered that Trump has his suite on the 66th floor, likes to have 6 pairs of everything in his drawers. And of course, you got the 666 Fifth Avenue right next door. It paints a pretty ugly picture all to itself. Of course, he announced his run for president in 2016 on June 16th. 6/16/16. 666, bitches. I bet you weren't paying attention. I bet you went back to sleep. I bet you think like, oh, you're angry. Like when you first learned about what happened on 9/11. This administration brought in all of these 9/11 chills. Can you see the horns now? Is there any surprise that he let Epstein go? Hello out there. Where have you been, huh? Is this the best show in town? This is Stranger Than Fiction News, broadcasting live from the dark side of the planet. So you see, it just depends on the angle. Some angles you can see the horns, some angles you can't. But if they're on television, you better be looking for it, because given the right angle, you'll see it. And you can look in the mirror too if you're starting to exhibit signs of demon possession. Don't get scared. Don't go into denial. Repent. Quit, doing what you're doing. Stop with the sinning and get back to the Bible. And, in this day and age, it's so commonplace to be, committing capital sins out there, and you don't even know it. Like the OMG, like the blasphemy out there, and the like. You should check out the 7 deadly sins: envy, pride. Now think about that every time you take a selfie and put it on Instagram and the like, and just see how, messed up society really is. Who are these people? And if you pay attention, you can see the devil horns, ladies and gentlemen. And, if you're starting to exhibit the signs, then run back to the Bible, because, this infection is spreading like the flu. And most people out there are contaminated. What does that mean if you're infected, ladies and gentlemen? Well, you're probably hearing quite a few inner thoughts that are of a dark nature, depressing, angry, and the like, as well as nothing but trouble. And if that seems like you lately, starting to get sensitive to the light, then, turn yourself around. It's never too late until it's all over. That's the parable of the vineyard. Get back to the Bible, ladies and gentlemen. The first will be last and the last will be first, but you just don't want to end up like these people. You don't want to end up like, these people in the flames trying to escape. If we can bring that back. Can't imagine what these creatures just escaped from, but you probably don't want to know. And if all of these people on television are worshiping the devil, if you're starting to see this stuff here, ladies and gentlemen, then the opposite must be true. And so get back to the Bible. Check out the documentary Unlocking the Mysteries of Life. They've been lying to you in public school, and the DNA proves intelligent design. We didn't just get here, ladies and gentlemen. We were put here. And, these creatures are part of the equation, like day and night, like a shadow where there's light. And that's just the nature of the story. And the devil is in charge of the secular world, and they're spraying you like bugs. But now they're telling you that, these contrails are in fact chemicals like Agent Orange, neurotoxins, and the like. And, kids are getting sprayed. It's right there on the news. What are you going to do about it? We need everybody to be a superhero in their community. You got to quit just, taking it out there. Quit grabbing your ankles. And you got to, work within the framework of your city to get these death towers taken down, to get the fluoride taken out of your water. Start flyers, start bringing people to the city council meeting. It may start small, but it'll grow quick. Everybody's concerned about this, ladies and gentlemen. So there you go. Check out our website, stfnreport.com. Support our broadcast. Help us grow and reach more people at patreon.com/STF News. We're not supported by big government or this beast system. We rely on viewers just like yourselves out there. So pitch in and help us invest in the future. Until the next time, ladies and gentlemen. If you're listening to this, you are the resistance.